Several recent incidents involving online threats spread on various social media platforms have raised concerns among parents in the Robbinsdale School District. However, many of the threats turn out to be unfounded. We sat down with Robbinsdale police to learn more about how these threats are handled. At their core, schools are designed to be places where young minds can learn the fundamental building blocks to set them up for future success. But these days, schools find themselves occasionally having to send out messages to parents to address threats made on social media, such as this recent one from Robbinsdale Middle School about a weapon possibly being brought into the building.
We did receive a call from a parent that one of their children that goes to RMS had received a threat through social media.
Captain Shad Stensrud of the Robbinsdale Police Department says that with this case and every online threat, they first try to determine its credibility.
There's so much that goes on in social media, and you really don't know what is true and what's not.
In this instance, they contacted school administrators and worked hand in hand with them on the investigation to identify who's in the post. Then they got the parents involved.
In this case, luckily, like many others, it was found to be that it wasn't even a student that goes to RMS. So then we just went from there.
Meanwhile, Stensrud says the nature of these social media threats can range from being specific to vague.
So sometimes it can be a certain day and time, or sometimes it can just be, I'm just going to generally go do something at any given with no specifics. So yeah, they can be broad or they can be specific. We've seen both.
But these threats can not only cause people to be alarmed, they can also have negative consequences for the youth making the threats. It's why he urges parents to talk to their kids about what they post or see online.
Even if they don't want to get their friends in trouble or whatever, it's just better if they see something that could be threatening to anybody, that they would just notify their parents or school staff.
The Robbinsdale School District, meanwhile, recently approved a change to its weapons policy requiring building administrators to report to police as soon as possible any firearms-related incident. During Osseo City budget discussions this week, some council members raised concern about the level of pay for firefighters.
When I see this as a whole, and I see that somebody mowing the grass or sitting at the farmer's market is making more than our firefighters, in my conscience and heart of hearts, I'm telling you, I can't pass it.
Osseo's budget does call for pay increases, increasing part-time firefighter pay to $15 an hour. The city administrator says that would put Osseo more in the middle compared to other cities, but that wasn't enough for some council members who noted the city lost 2 firefighters this week to resignations. The Osseo City Council ultimately voted to increase firefighter pay by another $2 an hour, which officials say won't significantly alter the city's budget. The city of Brooklyn Center has tried to redevelop its so-called opportunity site for almost 20 years. Now the city has received 2 grants totaling $3.5 million to help in that effort. Phase 1 of the opportunity site is about 16 acres located at the northeast corner of Shingle Creek Parkway and Bass Lake Road. Ocean Buffet Restaurant is located there now, which will be torn down and relocated elsewhere. The restaurant and nearby parking lot would be turned into an event center, 3 separate apartment buildings, and a child care center. The 2 grants from the Met Council aim to attract diverse entrepreneurs and affordable housing.
The $1.5 million with Met Council is specifically for the entrepreneurial market, which is targeting the BIPOC, women, and immigrant entrepreneurs. The $2 million grant funding award is specifically for 60 units of affordable, deeply affordable housing.
Phase 1 of the project will cost between $250 and $300 million. Construction is expected to start next spring. A Brooklyn Center liquor store employee who made headlines for giving the shoes off her feet to a homeless man now hopes to help even more people. Brooklyn Center Liquor has partnered with the nonprofit SEEP to launch Ace's Warmth for the Winter Drive. It's named after liquor store employee Ace Thomas, who gave a homeless man with no shoes the Air Jordan sneakers she was wearing. People can stop at either Brooklyn Center liquor store location to drop off hats, coats, mittens, and shoes to help people in need.
This would help every homeless person with shoes, jackets, scarves, gloves, all the needs for the winter, because, you know, our winters can be very brutal if we don't have certain supplies.
People can also help by donating to the campaign online. You can find the link on our website at ccxmedia.org. This weekend, you can help count and keep track of roughly 50 species of birds. The first annual winter bird count will take place Saturday from 9 to noon at Mississippi Gateway Regional Park, which right now looks like a winter postcard. You don't have to be a birding expert to take part. Three Rivers experts say you'll see songbirds, birds big and small, and ones you might not have ever seen before.
Bald eagles are probably very likely, juveniles and adults. We might see a peregrine falcon that's been hanging out down the river on the bridge. And I've seen kestrels and sharp-shinned hawks here recently. We actually had a merlin here on the big oak tree 2 weeks ago.
The bird count data ends up going to the National Audubon Society, which keeps track of climate and bird migration patterns. A local senior center received a special surprise on Thursday, the next big thing to seeing Santa Claus. West Metro fire crews made several deliveries, including this one at Centennial Gardens in Crystal. Residents from Crystal and New Hope donated all the gifts through the Be a Santa to a Senior program. One organizer we spoke with said the excitement is threefold.
And the staff that works here really gets a kick out of it, because they get to be a part of delivering these and having the excitement of doing what we're doing. So we get our excitement, and then they get theirs, and then the recipients get theirs.
West Metro fire crews delivered more than 300 gift bags on Thursday.
Hopkins is the top-ranked girls basketball team in Class 4A. That should come as no surprise to followers of Minnesota hoops.
For almost every year in the last 20 probably, the Hopkins girls basketball team is in the mix for winning a state championship. 9 state titles will do that. This year is no different. Hopkins is off to a 5-0 start against good competition.
It's always good to get wins early against quality teams. It really helps build you guys as a team and helps us play together and learn how to play the right way.
I like the energy they've played with. I like how hard they're playing. We're shooting the ball fairly well, and we're playing together.
The team lost 2 All-State players to graduation. Maya Najee is at Arizona, and Amaya Battle is playing for the Gophers. But there is still a ton of talent here. Taylor Woodson, who's missed 4 of the first 5 games with an injury, is committed to the University of Michigan. Nunu Agara has signed with Stanford. And Coach Tara Starks believes junior guard Liv McGill is the best in the class of 2024. Add in a deadly outside shooter like Kelly Boyle, another good role and bench players, and yeah, Hopkins will be all right.
Especially with our seniors gone, you know, everybody will say, oh, is Hopkins going to be good this year? But we put in our off-season work. We did, Breakfast Club every morning, 7 to 8:30, and then we have camp and have all these fall workouts. So we put a lot of work during the off-season.
Nothing, though, is a given. State titles, after all, aren't handed out in December. So Hopkins will grind and work hard in an effort to win another state championship come March.
We don't get to state if we don't win our section. So we take it one game at a time. We try not to look too far ahead. We try not to talk about teams. As coaches we do, but as players, I want them focusing on the next team, in our lineup, and only focused on that team. Once we finish that business and we take care of that game, then we focus on the next one.
The Osseo boys basketball team won 22 games last season, finishing as runner-up to Park Center in the Section 5 4A tournament. As Jay Wilcox reports, a slow start this season doesn't mean the Orioles won't be a good team again.
Starting the season with a pair of losses isn't what anyone in the Osseo boys basketball program wanted. But considering they're almost entirely a brand new team and had close defeats against 20-win teams from last season in Eastridge and Andover, the losses don't look so bad.
I feel like our team so far has played pretty great, in my opinion, because so far most of the teams that we played have been kind of the same personnel so far. We pretty much have a whole new personnel playing varsity, so it's kind of good to see that we are putting up good numbers and playing good against good teams, so it's just good to see.
I feel like we're definitely coming together more every single game, and it's just taking a lot of experience in games playing together, because really we're learning as we go.
We've played two pretty good programs, East Ridge, Andover. They're seasoned veterans, those teams are, and we're still learning how to play basketball with each of our teammates here. A lot of new faces. We're still trying to figure out what our identity is.
Rangy 6'7" wing Trey Smith, a Minnesota Duluth recruit, is the lone returning starter for Osseo. Ty Swanson, who saw quality minutes as a sub last season, is battling back from an injury. Otherwise, the spots are open, which leads to good competition in practice.
Yeah, it does, because everybody knows, like, hey, there's a chance that anybody on this roster could be starting that next game, so everybody's going hard, everybody's like 110% all the time, and it's just fun to play with.
Saturday, the Orioles host the breakdown sports event called the Big Stage, featuring some of the state's top boys teams. They'll play Eastview. It should be a fun day.
Well, we're excited for the opportunity to host. We feel Osseo obviously is a fantastic facility, great attendance, great stands, a lot of space there for us. So we're excited, not only for us, but for, to showcase a lot of the teams within our region.
They may take some time to mesh, but the Osseo boys basketball team has good potential. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.